My goodness. All right.
That's a lot of pressure,
you mean like you mean like to open the show?
Open the show.
Oh
you can
my.
Open the show, man. I opened it
my
last time.
goodness.
It's a lot
My
of pressure,
goodness.
I know.
It's a lot of pressure. This is episode 2, man.
It's
Episode
2.
1, people hear how phenomenal it is, and then they go, "Shit, man. Hey friends, check out episode 2." You know?
I know. It's a lot of pressure.
All right, I'm just opening up my notes. Actually, I forgot to do that.
We set the bar so high, you know?
I know. Okay.
Now people are expecting something.
Do we have like a set intro?
Not really, man. You just say, this is PHOTOBROS, and then you say, I'm this guy, and I'll say, I'm this guy, and then we say some stuff, and then we do our topics.
Beautiful. All right. Welcome to an episode of the Photography Bros. I am one of your hosts, Michael Costa, also known as the Growing Photographer. On the other end, we have
Jared Poirier from Galaxy Design. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of the Photography Brothers podcast. It's an honor to be here with you, Michael.
And same with you, like always.
So we got a great show for the people today. Lots of interesting topics and a little bit of photography news as well. So I hope that people are ready to have their minds blown by a great podcast here. Drinking my coffee right now. We're going to keep the energy up here on PHOTOBROS and really deliver the goods. So I'm excited to get into it. How you feeling these days, Michael?
Oh, man. That's a good question. It's like a generic question, but like during these times, it's like a real question, you know?
It's because life's real right now, man.
Like back, pre-COVID, I don't mean to dive into something so minuscule, but listen, before pre-COVID, right? If someone asks you how you're doing, you're like, this guy just doesn't know what to ask me, right?
Yeah.
During COVID, someone asks you how they're doing. It's like a genuine, like, how you doing though? You know?
Yeah, it's like it's concern. It's a legitimate concern.
Exactly. I've been good. Trying to stay busy.
Nice.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Good, man. Same. I've been working a lot, doing a lot of real estate shoots, and I've been playing some music and stuff. Got a little
Nice.
band project going. So yeah, I mean, all in all, just kind of stay as busy as possible. Keep my mind focused, and keep my eyes on the prize, as it were.
Beautiful. Usually, and when I say usually, I mean in episode 1. We started with we started with topics.
The long-standing tradition of starting with topics.
The long-standing tradition. You know, we can't disappoint, so we gotta stick to it. Did you want to open up with the topic this time around? I don't remember who went first on the topic last time.
Probably me, if I had to guess. So you can go first.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
So
I'm really putting the pressure on you today, eh?
Yes, you are. You're giving me too much responsibility.
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you that right now. Okay, so first topic is, forget about COVID for a second, okay? I'm going to take you to a place that's a lot more enjoyable. Okay?
I already forgot.
You already forgot? I try every morning. So you get a phone call from whoever it is. I don't know who it is. It's your Canon, it's your Sony, whoever it is. This is a dream world here. And they say, you can go anywhere in the world. We want you to test out one of our cameras, and we want you to go anywhere you want. So basically, where do you go, and what camera do you take with you?
Wow. That is cool, man. What an interesting topic. I don't know. I think I would kind of take more of like maybe like a photojournalism approach to that type of thing. And I might go somewhere where there's some type of story, right? Maybe like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not brave enough to go to a war zone or something like that. But that would be kind of my approach, maybe. That's just coming off the top of my head. Someplace where there's some real news to cover, whatever that may be, and go and get the real story, I think is what comes to mind.
What's in your hands, man? What's in your hands, though?
Oh, and what's in my hands? I don't know. Something expensive.
Of course. You're like, can I take photos on a C100?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like to do some video as well, and maybe vlog around a bit. I don't need anything too crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna buy soon what would be in my hands. One of those
Hey,
Sony's, man. A7 III. I might buy one on Boxing Day.
man. See, it's funny you say that because I would probably say something along the same lines, like something that performs at a high level on both sides. So we're talking photo and video, be able to do both really, really well. The only issue with Sony, and it's not that bad anymore,
Yeah.
is just the lens selection as far as cost goes.
True, true.
Um, but now that we're seeing a bit more of them out, we're starting to see like the used market become a bit more affordable and reasonable. I still don't think like a cheap 50 mil should be like 250,
No.
right? But maybe that's just me being used to the plastic fantastic 50 mil on the Canon side. But yeah, I'd probably go something similar with you. I would love to go to Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, man. I would love to go to
Oh,
Japan for
man.
sure. That would be cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine the street photography there?
Yeah, that
It's
would be
just
wild, brother.
so much culture. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I've got a Japanese news story coming up later, so it ties in nicely.
Hey, very nice, very nice. Quick question: you ever see Lost in Translation? I know you're a movie guy,
Not yet, man. I haven't seen it yet.
and you disappoint me. Do you have a topic?
Cool, man. Oh, that's a good topic. I like that. It's short and sweet. Kind of get everybody out of the mindset of coronavirus for a minute. And yeah, when we can travel again. When I went to Europe, I took some pretty nice photos. I didn't really prioritize bringing a nice camera, but took some videos, took some photos, and yeah, it's always nice to get out of the place where you're always shooting because you've seen it already, and you kind of feel like every photo's already been shot, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in a city like Toronto, like there's kind of not a lot of locations left. You got to be pretty creative to get something that no one's seen before. But yeah, I'd love to travel and get something a little bit different.
Yeah, you know what though? It's interesting you kind of bring that up. Is it that there are less places to shoot, or that we are so familiar, or we're so submersed within the city so
Yeah.
frequently that we're just something that we're looking at is like a passive thought, or like it's not much, and then to somebody else who comes in, they're like, this is awesome, I want to compose it this way, this is really cool, and they're going to get a really good shot out of it, right? Like, is it just that like overwhelming familiarity which also like diffuse like fogs up our vision? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, man. It actually makes me think of the one of the most famous photographers, Ansel Adams, when he was doing photography of like the national parks or whatever. He like went and lived there so that he could get the best photos. I guess that's kind of the opposite. Like if you go and spend a lot of time in a place, you like start to really get to know it, and then you can get some beautiful photos. But I guess back then, the type of landscape photography that he was doing, he was actually pioneering, and no one else had done it. So kind of interesting thing to think about there. I think, yeah, because we live in the city, and maybe like a lot of the accounts that we follow on like Instagram, let's say, or other photographers that we're aware of, like they're shooting here in Toronto as well, and you know, you get used to seeing the same landmarks over and over again. So yeah, that could be it, man. And I think just getting out of that place and getting something different to shoot is really good for your creativity, honestly.
Yeah. And I think actually, again, to tag on to what you just said, like, I think it's also like, yeah, like we have some really cool photos of the city. But also like a lot of the people that we look up to and admire also travel a lot. They have the incredible privilege to do so. And so like when we see that, it's like, okay, well, this wall in Toronto that faces my building every day isn't as interesting as, you know, the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. So maybe I just won't take that photo, right? But hey, you know, it is what it is. I'd actually be curious to know, like, anyone watching the video right now, you know, like, where are you at? Where do you actively still take photos within your city, or do you find yourself actively like traveling outside of it to take photos?
Yeah, interesting question. Let us know down in the comments all about that stuff. If you take photos where you are, if you like to travel to take your photos, and get some good conversation going around that. You want to get into the next topic?
Yes, please.
Sweet. I have a humdinger of a topic for you guys right now for Michael
All right.
Costa and for the listeners out there. I don't know if Michael Costa is going to be able to handle this topic, but we're going to
Oh
find
boy.
out. It's a personal topic. I don't know. Better be ready to get personal.
I'm kind of scared now.
I'm scared. We're talking relationships and photography.
Oh boy.
So, Michael Costa, you are in a long-term relationship, correct?
This is right.
Whoa. And with a lovely lady?
Yes, she is.
Nice,
she
nice.
is.
What's her name?
Alexa.
Oh, Alexa. Cool, cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No association to the Amazon device. Just
yeah, that
you know.
it's like a her situation going on here.
Yeah, I'm just an everyday Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
No.
That's jokes.
What's the question?
Me too. I'm also in a relationship. And how do you find balancing being in a long-term relationship, having a long-term girlfriend, and your career as a photographer? Does it ever get in the way? Does it ever cause strife? The hours of a photographer aren't necessarily the same as your average person. There's a lot of different stresses. Maybe, like I said, your schedule isn't as consistent. Maybe the cash flow isn't as consistent as if you had another type of occupation. There's kind of ups and downs. There's busy seasons. There's not. So I'm just wondering how that's working out for you. Do you find it pretty easy to balance, or are there some challenges there?
It's a good question. I actually really like this one. I think there's two things to talk about here. So one is from the perspective, I think, which is originally what you had intended of the partner, but also there's the perspective of myself. So from the perspective of the partner, I actually had a really good conversation with somebody who is not a photographer, but is a full-time creative. He is a rapper.
Cool.
And why did I mess that English, guys?
That's a hard sentence.
I don't know what my grade 5 English class grade was, but I don't think it was that good.
I don't think you passed, man. I think you're still in grade 5.
Don't tell the world.
Don't tell people that.
No, so he's had to have some very difficult conversations with people. And basically, like, when I was telling him, this is something I really want to do full time, trying to set myself up to do this, he's like, one of the most important things that you have to do is set that expectation up with your partner. Like, they're going to be all for you going and chasing your dreams. They love you and they want you to be happy. But sometimes there isn't that understanding that, like, hey, that means that, like, my hours aren't normal, like you said, right? A lot of the things that you said, my hours aren't normal. That means that, I have, like, really random weird clients. I'm gonna have, like, it just means so many things. Like, it doesn't mean you don't have a Saturday, Sunday off and then a 9 to 5. Yeah. So I've had to have that conversation, not because it got to a point or escalated to a point where I had to, but it's just, I had that conversation with the guy and I thought, this is a really good point. And I had that conversation with her, really, really understanding of that. It's we haven't had any situations come up that really challenge us in the way that we're kind of suggesting right now yet. So obviously, like, if that comes up, it's going to be a little different. So far, it's been okay. From now, to go back to what I was saying earlier, from my perspective, to me, that's actually the greatest challenge, because as much as I want to be creative and I love to be creative, I love shooting videos, shooting photos, all of that, at the same time, I, like, adore my girlfriend. So it's that constant struggle of, like, okay, do I edit that video tonight?
Exactly.
Or do I throw on, like, something on Netflix and just kind of chill out, right? And so it is, like, it's like a balance, because it is important to have your time with your partner and to just, like, in general, wind down and relax. But it's also it's like sometimes you got to find that balance, and it's not easy when you're starting up.
Yeah, it's certainly not. And I think that like I've had this conversation with my girlfriend quite a few times throughout the years. Just kind of, yeah, trying to set those expectations I think is really important. Just be like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Like I'm building this business so that eventually I will have a better life. Eventually I will have more time to spend doing whatever I want. But look, like while I'm on the come up, it's going to be this, and this, right? Like I'm going to be working hard, like you said, taking on some pretty random things sometimes, and working random hours, and maybe sometimes, some weeks more than 40 hours, some weeks less than, but setting that expectation. And yeah, it can be tough, especially with like any creative field. There's this idea of like getting into kind of a creative flow that a lot of artists experience that. And I experienced that as well. And it can kind of cross the line sometimes from like being in a creative flow to being like in a creative obsession. I think there's a potential for that. And I've definitely experienced that like with photography for sure, with videos, especially just like running my own YouTube channel and just getting like so involved with all of that. And like, you want to pump out content. You want to keep, when I was doing like movie reviews, it was always like go and see the newest movie and get the review out on time and things, a lot of demands on your time. And yeah, you just have to really do those two things. I think you nailed it right out of the gate, man. It's those two things. It's setting the expectation, and then also just being like reasonable in how you're approaching your work. Take that approach of like, okay, do I really need to be working on this right now? There's times that the answer is yes, and there's times that you gotta go put on some Netflix and then listen to some Barry White,
Exactly, man. Like one tip that I've heard from somebody was to just like pre-plan your whole week.
Yeah.
Like in that way, it's like cool. Like if you can, sometimes you can't.
Sometimes you can, yeah.
Sometimes, but like for me, at least for the most part, like maybe there's going to be a couple of exceptions with like a video edit gig coming up or something like that. But for the most part, it's like, okay, I know I want to make this many videos this week. Okay, so to do that, I have to shoot, I have to edit. No, not even. I have to write the script or like plan out how I'm going to do this, what it's going to be about, hit all the points I want to hit. Cool. Shoot it, edit it, publish it. Okay, where do those end up on my schedule? Right. And obviously it becomes a bit more difficult when you're balancing your 9 to 5 as well, of course. But like, at least if you do it like that, and if it's possible, there's some things are going to move around like we're talking about, but at least it gives you an idea of where you're going to have time to spend time for yourself and to spend time with your partner.
Yeah, and sharing your schedule with them as well is really good. My girlfriend Masha definitely definitely supports that. And whenever I can tell her what the heck's going on, she realizes sometimes there'll be random things that come up, but yeah, to the extent that you can like have things down on a schedule, even with this podcast, for instance, we might end up at a certain point once we get our shit together that, it's shot on a certain day at a certain time. You can expect it. It's released at a certain time. Same thing like with just little activities that you do in your business. No, maybe there's a certain day where you need to be on the phone a lot doing sales. Okay, pick a certain day to do that. There's a day for editing. And yeah, really structuring. I think that'll help you both ways. It'll help you with your relationships, and it'll also, help you in your business. So yeah, nice.
All right. Great question, man.
Great toppies. Yeah, I've got another one, but I honestly feel like it's a topic for episode 3, Michael.
Ooh. You're gonna leave me in suspense.
It's too much.
Like a true movie buff. True movie buff over here.
Might be too much for this episode. Do you have another one, or should we go into the news?
I'm good to go in the news.
Let's do it. Roll that intro. PHOTOBROS news is coming. This is Photography Brothers News, and I think we have some pretty exciting news stories for you guys today. Might be difficult to top the Photo Bros News segment from our first episode. We talked about monkey photographers in that episode, and I don't know, this is not going to be as funny. But it might be involving a cure for the coronavirus, and it also involves photography. So maybe a good story. So here we go. From the Times of India, we have a news story here with the title Fujifilm signs We have a story here with the title Fujifilm signs manufacturing contract for COVID vaccine. So is this the first that you've been hearing of Fujifilm having anything to do with the coronavirus vaccine, Michael?
Yes. And that's actually says a lot because at work we've been, I'm not going to get into all of it, but we're one of the new projects we're working on, like it requires us to like have an understanding of who's coming up with vaccines right now. So like obviously like the Pfizer one we all know about, Moderna. What's going on with Fuji, man? What are they doing?
All right, so yeah, this is our connection back in with the Japanese thing. So that's probably why you haven't heard of it, because this is a bit of a vaccine and some treatment for the coronavirus, but it's kind of on the other side of the world here. So China, Japan, Russia, they might be seeing this stuff before we do over here. But anyways, you probably have never really thought that Fujifilm would have anything to do with the coronavirus vaccine, but it turns out that since Fujifilm has been steadily losing market share in the camera world, they have only about 5% of global market share when it comes to cameras. I did a little research today. I found out that Canon still has almost 50%, and
Really?
yeah, and Sony is coming in pretty strong with about 20%.
Only 20%.
Yeah, I know, man. That's the most up to date numbers I could find. Those were from September, as far as I remember. But anyway, so Fujifilm is really not doing great in the camera game. But they've been investing more in biotechnology, and now they have a bit of a contract here to manufacture the corona vaccine. So that's actually the formula. So I guess whatever the formula is, you put in the antibodies and mix it up with some preservatives or whatever, and inject it into people. And you need some pretty specialized technology, pretty specialized gear to do so. And evidently, Fujifilm biotechnology has those type of capabilities. So kind of interesting stuff. So they'll be working on that in the next little while. And I was also really surprised to find out that aside from the vaccine, they also have like a pill capsule that might cure the coronavirus as well. Called Atigan or something like that.
You nailed it. For
Atigan.
sure. That's gotta be
it.
Exactly it.
That's got to be exactly it. Anyways.
Take it from the guy who failed grade 5 English. I'm telling you, that's got to be the way.
That's probably, I'd trust him. I'd trust him on that. So yeah, that's like I said, all going to be kind of going out to Russia and China and Japan and whatnot, maybe before it finds its way over to us. But I did think it was pretty interesting and definitely unexpected and kind of related to photography. So that's that news story. What do you make of all that?
Well, I just want to say congratulations on Fuji for finding a way to be relevant. Because you're kind of not in the photography space.
I've never shot a picture. No, that's true, man. I've never even heard of someone using a Fuji camera.
I tried out one. I forgot I think it's like what do they call them? The T2 or I forgot or the XT2. They have such weird naming conventions, but they're okay. I honestly feel like they're just like it's a stylistic choice, just visually. Like if you like old film cameras, you might kind of compromise on some of the hardware and tech drawbacks, I guess. But anyways, like it's very interesting. So you're saying that this is more so on the Asia's side, and then obviously that part of Russia.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you know if there's any like intention for that to eventually come to North America? Or is there no mention of it?
I couldn't find any mention of that just as I was researching around today. It just looks like it's going to kind of go to China and Russia first. And maybe it has something to do with how, like, like the FDA needs to approve it. And,
Yep.
They'd probably rather have that coming from like an American company. And same thing in Canada, right? Maybe we want like an American company or Canadian company to be producing it. I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't want to buy a vaccine from Russia if they're your enemies. I'm not exactly sure how it works. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
maybe politics is involved.
yeah. I mean, it does sound like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are probably going to be the first ones here. So we'll see if there's even a need for it here. But it's good to see that, hey, like, all seriousness, yeah, like Fujifilm's finding a way to kind of help out and help the world, I guess, or at least that part of it, right? So
Yeah.
if that's like a leading vaccine over there, and if you have a consumable capsule, like that's really cool. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, very interesting. And even the idea of a capsule over like having to get people in for the shot and stuff might be good. And that's actually the capsule itself is like antiviral medication, right? It's not a vaccine. So those are kind of two separate things, but either way. Yeah, either way they're kind of double teaming the corona here, so Fuji doing it for the world. Fujifilm.
We gotta start a movement here. I think we gotta get, because here's the thing.
Okay.
Fuji now.
I'm listening.
Fuji, they're trying to get into that medical space money.
That's right.
There's a lot of space in that medical space.
A lot of money in there.
Fujifilm, they're gonna be loaded here. What if like they create something crazy starts revolutionizing the way that we take photos today? I don't want that. I don't want Fuji to win.
Yeah,
I don't want Fuji to win. No, we need Sony. Listen to me. We need you to start making COVID-19 vaccines, some sort of consumable capsule. All right. Maybe like a patch or something, like we need you guys
even
to step
easier.
up here.
Even like a gummy.
A gummy. Oh my goodness. Oh, here's,
Corona gummy.
There's a, can you imagine trying to sell it? Buy your Corona gummies. Yeah,
from Sony. New from Sony.
Oh, well, is it like credible? Like, is it like a medical company? Oh, it's like Sony, like the guys that make your television. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah.
Your television always works, right? Take this pill. Don't ask questions.
Man, I'll go home, just check my health coverage first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, cool stuff.
So, yeah, Sony, story. Canon, you guys are getting called out here. You're getting called out on PHOTOBROS. You guys may be ahead in the camera game, but y'all are falling behind in the Corona vaccine game to Fujifilm here. And frankly, it's embarrassing.
It is.
It's embarrassing.
It is. And
all right.
That is honestly what the headline should read.
I'm too disgusted to continue. What's the next topic here?
All right. So my topic is around street photography.
Good. Okay. I'm excited for this one. This is good.
Yes. And just so you know, totally unintentional that there was...
I said topic. I went news story. Apologize to our listeners.
It's okay. I think they'll forgive you. The totally unrelated like thought process on how I picked a street photography topic, and then this is a street photography news thing. But basically, here's what's going on. There's a lady in New York City who is saying that she's been harassed so many times with just random street photographers. And by the way, this is from Petapixel, which is like one of the most credible sources.
Yeah, we'll link all these news stories in case you guys want to read them.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a couple of things that she has said, and I want to have a small discussion here, just to get your perspective on it, because I'm curious to know like what you think, and maybe it's just a line that you don't cross or what it is. I don't know what it is, but a couple of things that she said. So one thing she said was, an older man walked by with two cameras. Why was he have two cameras? Two cameras, and discreetly aimed one at me. I immediately called 911. It's a little excessive. I think it's a little excessive.
Very excessive.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I didn't even see this part earlier.
You even dig all the way in.
She put a police officer. A police officer made him destroy one of his rolls. So I guess it was a film
Oh, that's
camera.
terrible.
Another one was I was walking down 57th Street. A man with a long zoom camera lens pointed it at me and took a rapid series of photographs.
Mm-hmm.
When I confronted him, he said it was a free country. As he tried to get away, I grabbed him and called 911.
This woman's a crusader, eh? She's like Batman against street photographers.
My goodness. So, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, it's understandable that someone should not point like a 100 to 400 telephoto in your face and just start rapid firing photos, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you think it should be illegal, really? Like, I don't know. What's your take on the whole thing, man?
I think that she's insane. I think the idea of making it illegal to take photos of people on the street is completely insane as well. It's just all about how artfully you do it, the way that you do it, and the tact that you use. Street photographers have been operating for a long time. It's a perfectly legitimate form of photography. If you live, honestly, guys, I'm sorry, but if you live in a big city and you go outside, you're getting filmed all the time. Like, you just are.
It's
Whether
true.
or not there's street photographers, there's cameras in every store. There's cameras on every street corner. Everybody has a camera in their pocket. Actually, I've got like 1, 2, 3 cameras right here on my cell phone, and you're always being filmed. So the idea that, like, because someone is shooting photos of you, all of a sudden this is like a violation of your rights, it's absolutely not true. I think you can. If you don't want someone to take photos of you, go up to them and ask them not to take photos of you. Do you need to get the police involved? I just think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. If someone was if a street photographer took a photo of me walking around, I would probably just think that's awesome, and I would, I'd say bless them. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously for us, it'd be like, hey, that's awesome, man. Thanks. By the way, here's my Insta. But
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's understandable, like, that someone could be uncomfortable with it. But, like, even just reading through the quotes, like, you immediately called 911. Like, why did you escalate it so quickly, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, and you, again, another thing that you said that's so true. And I don't know why I didn't think about this initially, but it's like, yeah, you're living in New York City. Like,
yeah.
There's like every third person that you walk by is a creative of some sort, probably.
Exactly, man.
So, like, if you didn't want to be, like, constantly seen or captured or whatever, like, you probably shouldn't be in New York City.
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah, if you're trying to live a really, really private life, yeah.
Yeah, New York's not the way to
Manhattan.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, good luck affording it. but no, I think it's just like having like an adult conversation, maybe. Yeah. Like, maybe if you're not like, hey, if you don't delete it, then I'm gonna call 911. Like, if that's probably not the right way to address it. Maybe just be like, hey, sorry, like, I think you took my picture. I'm not the most comfortable with it. Like, if you don't mind, can you just, like, remove the image, right? Like,
I would immediately delete that photo or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, of course there are assholes. There is like there is the potential for someone who's going to say, no, free country, whatever, like something really weird like that. Sure. 99% of the time, the person's just going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. And they're going to delete the photo.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be an issue. Of course, there's going to be like wackaloons on both sides. There's going to be those people who are like, oh, you took a photo of me, I'm calling the police. And then there's going to be those photographers who are like such purists of street photography that they're like, yeah, it's a free country. I can do whatever I want. I'm keeping this photo. Like, yeah, I think both of them are kind of equally wrong in that case. Like, yeah, just treat each other with respect, be an adult. I don't do a lot of that type of street photography, like taking random pictures of strangers. I do see the value in it. I do see why it's cool. The closest thing that I have to that really is doing like vlogs and stuff like that, where I'm walking around holding my camera in my hands, walking through public places, public streets, the Eaton Center, whatever it is. And people will get caught in the background of my shots. Most of the time, they'll smile, they'll wave, do the peace sign, give me bunny ears, whatever. Other times, I've had people say, "Hey, cool, man, you're doing a vlog. Let me help you. I'll hold the camera for a minute." Usually, I'll say no to those people. But you know,
Yeah.
there's a whole range. Yeah, I just think the ultimate thing there is, yeah, people are weird sometimes, but yeah, treat each other with respect and just be reasonable. You can handle it yourself. You can handle it between two adults, I think.
And on that amazing closing message, we want to thank you. Oh no, you have a third topic.
We don't got time for that, man.
Oh.
I had a third news story, but don't worry, it'll still be newsworthy next month. It'll still be very newsworthy, so don't worry.
Beautiful. On that, now not so. Now it's a bit more of an abrupt outro, but thank you for tuning in to the Photography Brothers show. Thank you, Jared, for helping set up this whole
No problem.
digital
My
way
pleasure.
of doing things. Yeah. It's been great. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you typically take photos within your hometown or if you typically travel outside. Try to search for something interesting and cool. But until the next time, you know what? Hit it, Jared. Until next time, what?
Until next time, make sure you follow this YouTube channel. I don't know. Yeah, right now this show's just on YouTube. I'm working to get it onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that type of things, like a legit podcast. Yeah. Until next time, keep taking beautiful photos. Stay artistic. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Yeah, all of that. I don't know. Live, laugh, love.
I think that is an Emma Roberts movie. On that note, thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next month.
Like, I'm sorry, like, at the end, it was kind of funny. When I was like, until next time, Jared, tell him. You're like, what the fuck do you mean?
What do you want me to say?
Weren't you just closing the show?
Keep
But
on
yeah.
broing and never stop photoing.
Yeah, maybe, it's a good thing maybe you didn't say that. Oh, man.
Oh, man.